Hey guys, it's Eric with D&D Miniature Board Games. I'm here with Alan, the owner, proprietor, hey, fellow gamer, Discover Games.
Hello.
Alan asked me to come in, discuss Gangs of Rome, the new miniature game that they're going to be running here at the store religiously. So, Alan?
Thank you, Eric. First off, for bringing your equipment out and setting up today. Yeah, really looking forward to this game. Actually, just got my product in yesterday. It's hitting here in the States this week. So, brand new game, brand new company, War Banner. War Banner is three guys that's been in the gaming miniature business for a good while, but out starting their own game line and business. Once again, it's War Banner. We got Adam Dobbins, Darren Evans, and Andy Hobday. Most people will remember those, recognize those games, those names from other games out there. So, great product. I'm very excited about this. Really looking forward to it, and let's get started.
All right, so you wanted to show me what comes in one of the blister packs so we can show the people at home what they get for, you said about $13?
$13. The core of the game is the fighter. Just a little background quickly on the game. You're the Dominus, the head of a family in Rome. If you've ever seen Rome, the HBO series, you're a head of a family. These are folks you hire to go out to do your bidding, whether it's good things or bad things, break people's legs, run errands for you. But you've hired these guys to go out and do your doing. The ultimate is you get enough power and prestige to become a senator. And everybody wants to be a senator in Rome, not just a citizen. So
Who wouldn't want to be a senator in Rome?
well, to start with one of the, I'll just pick a random one. There's 10 unique bodies, and we'll just go open one up here. This is, what's that in Greek? I mean Latin.
Septimus.
That's
Septimus.
the, what's Septimus? 8, 7?
Hey, my viewers know I don't word well.
Okay, right out of the box. You get a fighter card. Each one of these fighters are unique. In the book, there's no army list. There's nothing to build. You open up the card and you have recruited a fighter into your game. Once again, each one of these are unique. No one fighter is exactly like the others. They've printed over 10,000 unique cards for the game so far. This is one of the selling points for me to the game is very unique, not having to build army lists. I definitely like that aspect of the game. With this, Helvia, thank you, sir. Helvia, her background story, she paints body using the blood of the fallen. So anybody she slays, I guess she
Likes to paint pictures with them.
gets a little makeup on, and she likes blood red. Each fighter comes with a little background, a fighter story. That doesn't have any impact to the game, but it does add that flavor to each fighter. Each fighter has a fighter skill. She's greasy, I guess, with all the blood on her. That can be expected. This fighter cannot be grappled in a brawl. So once again, you're not going to be able to pin her down when you're fighting hand to hand. Basic stats, we have strength, we have, flesh, which is your health and your movement. We have strength, which is your attack ability. You have your defense, and then you have agility. 4 basic stats in the game. That will total up your points for the fighter. In this case, she is 23 points.
Now, Alan, I know you've extensively read the rule book, and you've played a few games already. So, and you said that your ultimate goal is to become a senator. Do your stats get better the more you fight and win?
No, your fighters stay the same. The fighter you hire today is the same fighter you have in 2 weeks. What happens in the game is you get prestige. You build up prestige. Once you basically win 20 games, you have the ability in the campaign to actually make a run for the Senate.
Oh.
So with the run for the Senate, you actually run for the Senate. You have to make it across the board without another gang trying to take you out. So you're the person, the player is the one that's growing, getting more power in the game. The fighters themselves do not level up; they stay the same.
Now, about how many fighters do you need to start off with?
Roughly about 4 to 5 points. A good game is going to be 100 to 125 points, and you can figure with the coins that a fighter will take, and we'll see those in a second, and the cost of an actual fighter, you can pretty much expect about 25 points per fighter. So with 100 points, you're looking at 4, with 125, 5. There are some games you can run with 3. You can even do one-off, this one-on-one fighters. So you can start, once again, crack open the box, get your figure ready to go, and start playing.
Now, not to jump, because I know we're going to get more into the pack of the one figure, but they also have the mobs. Now, can you explain what the significance of the mobs are? Because obviously if we have 3 to 5 figures in a gang, why would you need a mob, or why would you even want a mob at that point?
The mob, you're playing in a city of Rome. Rome has citizens. You're not playing with the empty, unpopulated city like most other games where it's just you and your opponent. It actually acts as an NPC and has a critical part of the game is the mobs. They can be your friends, they can be your enemies.
So you don't know which side they're going to go in on when you're fighting?
No, truly they can move at random. You can actually influence potentially how they move. You can use them to hide, blend in. Of course, they're going to do line of sight. Once again, it kind of creates that fog of war in the game, where once again you might be able to use them to your advantage one turn. Next turn they could turn and trample and run over you and cause you to lose some health there. So definitely I wouldn't say random, because you kind of know expectation of what they're going to do, but definitely that NPC player, there's other things going on in the city that you don't have control of that's going to impact the game.
So basically, to get into it, you would want 3 to 5 figures of the fighters, and maybe 1, maybe 2 mobs.
I'd say probably 1 to 2 mobs to start with. The scenario is written in the rulebook call from they got one scenario that doesn't have any mobs. It's played actually out in the countryside, so you're not in the city, so you don't have to have the mobs. But you're looking at, the more fighters you have, you may want to have more mobs. You can even play, it's early morning, there's only a few people out in the city, you have 1 or 2. You play, it's a celebration, a big event. You could go with a whole bunch of mobs.
You can. I noticed that. I noticed when I was looking at some of the things that they had animals too. You can have animals out there as well, correct?
That's there are some. Currently, there's a mastiff. That's a coin that would be attached to a fighter, and he's one of your.
So that's the mastiff figure right there, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Once again, it would be one of the Denarii that you would play in the game. It is actually a living figure, and once again would be by your side defending you. So they do have some unique things. You can have a gladiator, alot. Once again, you bring your best buddy who's happened to be a gladiator. You met at the bar. So we'll go into that if you want to go into that with talking about the Denarii, the coin. Each blister comes with four Denarii, 4 coin. You have 2 common, 1 uncommon, and 1 rare in each. These are set in sets of 10. There's 10 sets. They are random in a booster, but think of it as you're going out and hiring someone off the street to be in your game. You take them as they come. That would be their equivalent to the stats, and whatever they can bring to the fight. They may own a sword, they may own a dagger, they may own a bow. That's you don't necessarily have 100% control of that. You're hiring that person to fight for you.
That's the MDF. That's actually really nicely done too. A lot of good detail on those. I like that. So the cards are, how many do you get in a blister?
You get 4. Like I said, you get 2 commons. In this case, we got a sling and a spear. In the game, the only way you can have ranged combat is to attach a Denarii that does range to. Otherwise, you're unable to do range. So in this case, I got 2. Now these, once again, when you're playing the game, you build a hand, or maybe if you want to think of it as a deck, of Denarii of coins that you'll use to attach the fighters. So you can attach, even though I got these 4 with this fighter in the game, I can attach these coin to any fighter I have.
Now, how many of the cards can you attach to one single fighter? Is there a limit?
One at a time. One at a time. In most cases, at the start of the turn, you can change out your coins. So once again, if you want to start out with range, knowing you're going to do range, once again, I'm going to attach this sling to one and spear to the other. As I get in close, I may want to change to close combat weapons. One of the things about that, though, is when they're played face down next to your miniature.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't know what your opponent has. You can bluff.
Oh, okay. So these match
The numbers, like
match
this is number
cards.
1.
Oh, I see that now.
And then once you play this and turn it over, you're going to pull out and put, this is this reference, your reference card, in most cases next to your fighter.
So the 31 on here that matches the card.
There's
I see
40.
that.
It goes back to there's 40. There's 10 sets of 4.
Mm-hmm.
So there's 40 at this time items, coins in the game. There's some of them are more like dirty tricks. There's also items that will help you heal, like a stitch kit. You know, you got to cut and you pull the Rambo and stitch yourself up to keep yourself from bleeding out.
Which brings into play
the blood.
The blood.
Well, actually, I'm gonna bring out the base. You have a 2-part base, and once you will glue the 2 pieces together, and what happens is you have, and they do not come in with the booster, but you have, one side will be a number that will identify which fighter,
Mm-hmm.
and then
We got something knocked out right here. So basically they're going like that?
right. In this case, where'd she go?
Does the 4 go in? Do you get 2 numbers? Or
No, this one.
This
one
one?
number will identify which fighter. So once again, in bigger games, if you got 10 fighters out,
Mhm.
it'd be 1 through 10. They'd be identified 1 through 10 out on the table. And once again, that helps your opponent because once again, every figure is unique. You can paint it however you wanted. It's going to help your opponent too to keep track, and yourself to keep track of which fighter's which.
So the other empty slot would be for the blood.
For the blood, you're
wound.
going to start out with. In her case, she starts out at 7 flesh. You start out with 7, and as she takes, say she takes 2 wounds, she'll go down to 5.
Okay.
And the good thing about keeping a track here also is that is your movement rate. Your movement and your flesh is the same. So as you lose 1, you lose movement 2.
And then on top of all this, every fighter blister gets a die.
Yay. Very nice dice. Once again, Roman numerals, but once again, I love the way they use the actual numbers. Anything that's got a V on it, I don't even have to count or know what a Roman numeral is. A V is a success. 4, 5, or 6 is a success, and then anything else is not. Also, for the mob, that's used as the scatter direction. When the mob does scatter, that will be the direction. So there's not a need for an extra dice or anything like that. Yes, you get one in each blister. See what else? Where's the actual fighter? In the blister, you'll get the body of a fighter, headless horseman, without a head. But once again, one of the awesome things in here is you get different heads.
How many different heads come in there?
There's 3 different heads, and once again, you can mix and match if you have several fighters. You don't necessarily have to use these heads for that fighter.
Oh yeah.
So once again, your gang of 4 or 5. Oh, that's a cool head. Oh, I don't like any of these, but I like that one. They fit on. They've done a really, really nice job.
Oh, it's got the little
the whole post, and so they fit really nice. The neck looks good, and
So how many fighters blisters do they have right now, roughly?
There's 10 unique bodies,
10 unique. Okay.
and
And how many mobs?
there's 4 mobs.
And then there's the mastiff.
The Mastiff, the Agent, and the Gladiator Ally. Now, once again, they also have the Dominus, which in some scenarios, and like I mentioned, when you run for the Senate, will represent you on the table. So they actually have 4 different of those.
So if I was gonna jump into this, 4 to 5 fighters, 1 to 2 villagers, and maybe a Dominus when it gets to that point.
When it gets to that point.
All right. And at about $13 plus $13 for the rules, we're talking less than 100 to jump into this, have everything you need for the rest of the time you play.
Yes. Yes.
Which for a miniature game is not bad.
No, I figure for a nice miniature, even skirmish base with very, very nice castings, if you can get a full game for under $100, you're doing well. I mean, you look at the nicer even board games, the ones I like to play, they're running 120, 150 even.
Now I do notice that you got the special, you got the weapons, you got the blood, you got the special base. Once you got a few of these though, you systematically could use figures from another game if you wanted to. Or even your mob, you don't really you can just run regular figures from.
Yes, you can.
Exactly what scale are we talking here? About 20?
They're 28.
They are 28?
They are 28. You mentioned the weapons. In this case, I got 6 different weapons, and once again, there's different weapon screws. You'll see spears, shield. I think there's one with this rock. I've not opened. This is only the 3rd one open, so I've not even seen all there is to offer myself. So once again, very cool. Kind of the same thing. It is a little bit of the ball and joint, so easy to put on. Some people may say, "Oh, there's." I like to just have a model and play. Yes, but once again, this is such a cool aspect that you're building this character based on what you want it to look like, and I'll put 2 together now. Just minutes to put together. The sculpts, talk about them right now. This one,
I
very
didn't see
minor
much cleanup that you had to do.
Very minor flashing. I see. I'd have to hunt for mold lines. I've started painting one. Once again, probably could be the fastest miniature I ever painted. They're very clean, I call them smooth, but.
And considering you would need about, with the mobs, maybe 10 to 15 figures, for me, that's a Tuesday afternoon.
Oh yes, you could easily do that. With the mobs, you're about the mobs, how many you need. What you want to do, I think is, you know, you need someone else to play anyway. I mean, I guess you could figure out how to play this game by yourself, but most cases it takes two. Is go in halvers with the mob. If you each got two mobs, you know, split them, each bring them to the game. If you're with a gaming group, same thing, you know, everybody comes to that day, everybody brings two mobs. They're going to go on the table as joint. Once again, I think that would even add to the color of the table. They're not all painted the same way, in the same
Correct.
colors, same style. You definitely get the feel of different people out there in Rome. So we've covered the miniature.
Let's when we
The
go to the rule book. Now, when Alan first kind of gave me the lowdown on this, I went ahead because he gave me a link. You can actually download this rule book for free and print it out. But for $13, you get a very nice, glossy, well descriptive, good pictures rule book. I was actually really impressed with how it came out, and I was even more impressed with the price point, because normally you don't get quality like this for that type of a price point.
No, this is, I will easily say, this is the best $13 rule book I've ever seen.
But for those of you who may want to check it out before you buy it, you can go online, and yes, in the comments I'll put the link, and you can go ahead and download this for free from their store. You basically put it in your cart, but it doesn't cost anything, and they send you the link.
One reason they do that, as they do updates, they have your information in their cart. They will send you up that there are updates. So, great way to notify you.
Also, with this in where you have it in your cart, for those of us who love these quick reference, you can print as many of these out as you want. Because as a gamer, we all know these come in handy.
But yeah, like I said, I can't say enough good things about this, the quality of the book. There's scenarios in here. Like I said, there's one of my favorite things. Wow, an index that you can actually use.
An index, folks.
What a concept.
How many games have you guys seen us review that one of our main complaints about the rule book was either didn't have an index or the index was, horrible? Index, quick reference. Two of the main things you look for in a really good rule book. Nice description, nice pictures, nice explanations, good diagrams. I mean, I've looked at the one that I printed out at home, and I thought it was good. Then I came and saw this, and the price point, and $13 you really can't go wrong, even if it's a rule book that you have sitting there for 10 years and then pull it out and play
No,
it.
I'm the type, I gotta have the hard copy. It is nice. Once again, I've got the PDF on my phone, so I'm somewhere waiting on the wife or whatever. I want to think about something. Oh, now how's that go? I can look it up. I did want to point this out. Yes, for those who know about the game, it is based backwards. We will fix that. Once again, this was late last night, and my store manager, Troy, was pulling it out. And honestly, I'd never even really looked at it before. But you can see a little excitement. He's almost got it painted. And once again, the quality, he did nothing to this miniature. So there you go.
It's just a quick.
And once again, I really like, for some reason, the bald head with the sword over it works. One other thing you will need, the activation sequence is random, out of a bag, blind. So you will need some type of activation token. They do sell 6 different colors of their tokens.
How many different colors do you need?
One for each
Fighter?
One for each game.
So you really only need 2 different colors.
Right. They have 6 right now.
And how many tokens do you need? Just
one for each rider.
Oh, so if you have 5 fighters
you
on
need
each
5
side, you need 10 tokens of 5 of these different colors.
Right. If you have 5
So you can progressively. Sorry, but we are.
Yes,
Gamers can be cost cutters. You can progressively put 2 different sets of dice in a bag.
Sure. Poker chips.
Yeah.
Whatever you.
I mean,
wanna
that's
use.
a nice touch though for the era of the game.
Yes. Yes. And once again, as long as you can't cheat when you're feeling. Go, oh, that's my special red dice. I'm gonna pull that out. Only other thing is the buildings. Sarissa is partnering with War Banner to produce a huge line of high quality.
Is this
buildings.
able to pick up?
Yes, it is. This was actually part of the Sarissa line.
Move your heads out of the way.
Move my head. Before they had, I was able to pick up one.
Oh, I got that backwards. Well, I guess it doesn't matter.
And I think the roof's on backwards again. No, it's on. I keep putting the roof on backwards.
Oh, actually,
Nope, it's on right.
that works pretty good. Like,
But they're coming out with an extensive line. Once again, you'll be able to build all of Rome.
we'll just put the fighter there. He's hanging from the roof.
You can build Rome in a day. And once again, part of the game is definitely 3D.
Oh, I like this. So you can take the roof off.
Oh yeah, you can play in the buildings.
Play in the buildings.
They definitely want you to use elevation. There's rules for elevation, falling off the building and killing yourself, or better yet, pushing someone off. Oop, they fell.
Now, one thing I gotta ask, because it's been rolling through my head since we've been talking about this, the mobs, the gangs. Obviously, the gangs of Rome, this is happening in Rome. So is there a scenario where you bring in like a small platoon of troops that you have to fend off?
That's my understanding. They're going to come up with some
Legionnaires?
yes, down the road. More of the
auxiliary that they had in
the police
in
force in the city. I know there's, if you go to their Facebook page, incredibly active Facebook page with all the developers of the game, makers of the train. There's multiple posts today, and I tell you, if you put a subject up there, you're going to get comments. You got questions, you're going to get comments. And if you read between the lines and look at the pictures really close, you can get a feel of what's coming out there. I spotted a ship.
Yes, I saw the guy.
The ship is incredible, and while once again there's no necessary ship rules as right now, but definitely I think they have plans for a scenario involving a ship. But this the train stuff, and also once again definitely looking at I know in the near future I guess you'd call expansions to the game.
So, guys, Gangs of Rome. Tim and I will be up here next Tuesday, what date is next Tuesday? Today's what, the 23rd? Today's the 23rd of January, so we'll be up here next Tuesday, a week from now, where Tim and Al will face off with gangs, and I will sit back laughing.
Well, Eric, thanks again, and I appreciate this is.
Do you want to plug, because you got events coming up for this where you're going to be running this on a regular basis?
Yes, we're going to plan on doing February the 18th. That's a Sunday. We'll do Learn to Play Gangs of Rome. We'll have painted stuff. We'll have buildings. We'll have several of them set up. We'll have several of us that have had several games under our belt by then. Be teaching people how to play. Shortly after that, we plan on running some open league play events. I want to get this going at least weekly at the store. Once again, I think it's great for the hardcore. While not 100% historical, is based on Rome. So it's going to have the historians out there, I think, into the game. Definitely some uniqueness to get people that's never played or even necessarily interested in miniature games into the game. It's going to have a draw from other skirmish games that's out there currently being played. I think it'll have a lot of draw there, and this is going to look cool on the table. some new mechanics out there.
Something different from your normal 40K that we see on every gaming table in every game store.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. So yeah, we're looking at setting up weekly, those call it games wrong.
Well, obviously though, if somebody came in any day of the week, you and Troy will both know how to run it, and you'll have.
This is our Games of War, Games of Rome table. I said Games of War, didn't I? Games of Rome table, nail till no one wants to play. It's going to be populated with terrain and figures. So this is, we can't build Rome in a day, but we've started.
Hey, as always, guys, support your local gaming. We're here in Discover Games. We want to thank Alan for inviting me to come in and talk about Gangs of Rome. As always, guys, game on.
Ciao.